So we'll get started then. Just find a nice comfortable seat. And let your body start to settle into its place. Make minor adjustments. And just as we start, everybody does meditation for different reasons, different aims, different purposes. So whatever your aim is, might be to make your mind calm, to see things clearly, to become less entangled. Whatever that aim is, see if you can set up an intention for the meditation that you'll try to work towards that. It's important sometimes to remind ourselves of why we're doing what we do. To make an intention or a resolve to just try to do the best you can to move towards that, put in the right kinds of causes. And then just proceed with whatever meditation technique that you usually use. and check in with that intention that you made at the start of the meditation. Are you moving closer to it? Making an intention in this way is it's not about wanting a certain kind of state. It's about putting in the right kind of causes. This is a lot of what our practice is. Just simply putting in the right causes. So if you do feel like you've veered a bit off course, try to re-establish yourself again and put in those appropriate causes for your intention. last few minutes of the meditation, to take stock of your mind as it is now, as compared to when you started. That intention you set up. Did you get any closer to it? Maybe you didn't get all the way there perfectly, but maybe you got close to it, maybe you moved towards it. If you did, this is something to take encouragement from. Try to note what are the things that you did that helped you with that. Or if you didn't get anywhere near your intention, then this is okay. Not every session is perfect. But just take stock of the meditation and see what were the kind of hindrances that were coming up. Was there some kind of underlying mood state that was derailing you? Essentially just try to notice what worked, what didn't work. See how you can use every session to make your meditation a little bit better the next time. you had a nice session tonight? Nice and quiet?
Thank you very much, Ajahn. Just a quick usual announcements, just reminders about other chances to practice meditation this week. We have the guided meditation tomorrow night, again at the same time, with our lay teacher Sandeep. And we have various opportunities to practice online with our Discord community. You can find out more about that through our website or newsletter. And there's a morning sits between 4 and 6:30 a.m. called New Day, New Mind, and in the evenings from Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m, Make Meditation a Healthy Habit, which is a meditation session with a monastic guiding that for about 20 minutes with a Q&A afterwards. Also this Friday night is it now the fourth? Third.
Yep.
I'm getting ahead of myself. So the third session of nurturing awareness that Ajahn Sādaro is taking for more sort of beginner meditators or people who are just curious or would like a refresh of their meditation practice. So that's Fridays at 7 p.m. That's part of a 6-week series of nurturing awareness. Can you just tell us what happens after that? There's a full day meditation, I think, on the 14th.
Surely is. There's a 1-day meditation where we go over everything that we've gone over in that 6 weeks. So that'll be encompassing things like kindness towards others, kindness to yourself, compassion, which we're doing this Friday. Then there's gratitude, forgiveness, and kindness for difficult people. Yeah. So I'll try and fit that into 1 day. So
sounds like a lot.
It is.
Okay, so just next week's teaching program will be taken by Ajahn Nisarano, who's the senior monk at Newbury Buddhist Monastery. He'll be doing the Dhamma talk on Sunday morning and next Monday's guided meditation, which in honour of Ajahn Brahm's, I think, is it 50 years as a monastic, will be dedicated to Ajahn Brahm, which is the topic, Ajahn Brahm, our spiritual friend. So that's all the announcements for now. Are there any questions here in the hall? We have a few. All right, I think the hand up went at the back first.
That's game, Langdon. You jumped up when your legs sort of like half asleep. It's always game when you do that. I do it a few.
Hi, Ajahn. I had a question about Thanissaro Bhikkhu's guided meditation that he gave.
Yep.
So he was saying that sometimes you can get comfortable with the breath and then sort of lose your foundation in the body. He was saying sort of feel the whole body as you breathe. My question was say the meditation's going really good and then you're getting really absorbed in the breath. My understanding is I guess when people go into really deep states, they sort of lose track of their body completely.
Yep.
Is the idea of being aware of the body the whole time to sort of not lose track of the body and enter that state? Is it in some ways a negative to sort of not feel the body and can you just explain, I guess? What
Yeah. So it's a good question because there's different schools of thought around levels of absorption and things like this, and how much body awareness there is in levels of absorption. But we can sort of park that. We can sort of park that for now. So with the technique, just for anybody that doesn't know, Ajahn Thanissaro Bhikkhu was here last night, and he this is actually the most people I've ever seen in the BSV. There was a lot of people. There wasn't even there wasn't even any room to walk in the foyer, all the shoes that were there. I'm sure a lot of people lost shoes last night. But anyway, that's another story. So he gave a guided meditation last night, and he's quite well known for doing this technique where it's you use the breath as your foundation, but you essentially move the breath and notice the breath throughout the different parts of the body. And so and so he'll do things where it's like you're breathing in and you're experiencing the whole body, breathing out, experiencing the whole body. Now, this technique, this understanding actually comes straight out of the suttas. This is the kind of the stages in an anapanasati. And these are the stages that one goes through as one is sort of moving also into the jhanas and things like this as well. So he uses that foundation, that knowledge as a basis for a particular kind of technique. Now, but this isn't to say that if you do this and you can feel the breath in different parts of your body, that you're in the jhanas or anything like that. That's not saying that. But it is just a way that is quite aligned with the canon about how to do anapanasati. Now more specifically to your question of, well, if you are becoming more absorbed in some kind of way, and is the question something along the lines of, well, the body sort of is maybe a little bit coarse at that time and it maybe pulls you back out of the stillness? Was that the sort of the question? Or?
No, I was wondering, like, should we at that stage try harder to sort of still stay with the body, or is it like is it being too absorbed only on the breath? Is that bad in some way, or is it?
Okay. Yeah. No, so essentially, what will start to happen, and whatever technique that you're using, whether it's the breath, whether it's watching the breath in the body, whether it's watching sensations, whether it's repeating a mantra. Whatever it is, as your mind does start to settle down, it will start to let go of that thing, and it will just naturally do that by itself. There's no need to sort of force letting it go, but there's also no need to force yourself back onto it either. It will just be like a very, very natural process. As you become more absorbed in the thing, you don't have to intensely focus on it as much, and you can sort of like let it go. And what will happen is, because what you're doing is you're developing a kind of awareness at a particular spot, and whether that's on a mantra, whether that's on the breath or whatever. And so wherever that kind of spot is, your awareness will just stay at that spot without the object anymore. So if your mind is becoming calmer and calmer and calmer and a bit more absorbed, and it does start to naturally let the breath go, or all these kinds of things go, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't have to go, oh, I'm getting peaceful, I need to come back to the breath. You don't really need to do that. If it is happening, you can just let it go and just let it like sit still and see what happens. But then obviously what's going to happen is you're going to let it sit, and it will be still for a moment or two. But then what will happen is it's like, oh, this is cool. This is cool. You'll start to think. You start to think again, and all these kinds of things. Once the mind starts to move again, that's when you sort of have to come back online and go, okay, now go back to the breath. So it's a bit of that back and forth where you're becoming a little bit more absorbed, a little bit more still. Things start to drop away. You drop them, you let them go. Things stay still. But then when you start to move again, then you have to sort of bring the kind of the back of the thinking online and go back to the breath. Does that sort of answer the question? Yeah. Cool.
G'day.
Hey.
I just wanted to know, is Ajahn Jeff talking again before he leaves Australia in Melbourne?
He is at Vimokaram tomorrow night. I'm not sure if he's giving a talk though. Not sure if he's not giving like public talks, but he's at Vimokaram, or he's either at Lara, but he's at Vimokaram. I think it's tonight and tomorrow night. So he'll be there tomorrow night.
But that's not a public talk.
Not really, but he's there tomorrow for the meal, from memory. And he might say something after the meal and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Then he goes to Sydney. He's doing a lot more public talks in Sydney. If you feel like going to Sydney to listen to him.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, at the back.
Hi, John.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was wondering how your meditation session went today, and what was your intention, and how did things go for you?
My intention was not to throw up from pain in my back. So, and I did that. So it was pretty good. That was the general intention. So, no, all jokes aside, the intention was actually just to stay in like a kind of quietude. I've been feeling quiet all day, and I wanted to maintain that kind of quietude, and I did, and I did to some extent. To some extent, you have to come back online a little bit as you're doing these, as you're guiding meditation. So you can't do it fully, but it was almost there, and I didn't throw up because of my back. So so all good. What about you? Did you get anywhere near it?
I managed to not scratch my face.
Good work. Good work. That's the. You have progressed greatly in 1 week. Hey.
Oh, hi, Ajahn.
Hey.
I was just wondering what your thoughts are on contemplation when you're meditating.
Yep.
Do you view that as just another distraction, or do you view it as a positive?
Yep. Contemplation on
just
what?
just your, all the different theories and your thoughts on Buddhism itself.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So using a particular kind of teaching or a particular Buddhist theme or thinking about ideas or something like that?
Yeah, just going through, as when your mind calms down a bit, it's just, you might have certain thoughts or, in processing those.
Yep.
Do you view that as a positive, or do you think that's just another distraction for another time?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so I'm very much of the school of thought, if the thing works for you, do that thing. If you find that that's something that when you do it, this is leading to more clarity, this is leading to more calm, then obviously you do that thing. And meditation isn't just one thing. There's literally hundreds of kinds of different meditations. Many of those kinds of meditations are the more analytic meditations, where we are meditating on a theme about something, or we're contemplating a particular theme, or kind of wrestling with a question, or trying to understand something in deeper detail. So I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Now there is a wrinkle to that though. If you're doing these contemplations in this way, in some way it should be leading to your mind becoming calmer. Now, if you're just contemplating, but you're sort of like spiraling and you're thinking a lot more, in some way it's going in the wrong way. So how it ideally how it should be going, I always think about it like a whirlpool. So with a whirlpool, you're thinking about it, and it's very, at the top of it, it's very broad. The top of it is very broad, so your contemplation can be like that. So you might be thinking about or contemplating a particular thing, and it might start out like reasonably broad, and you're using your mind a lot. But essentially, the more you do it, it should be like spiraling inwards. And so this is sort of like the mind, like kind of calming down to some extent, until it gets to the point where it's like really like starts to spin quite a lot, but then it sort of like drops and stops. So the mind should be doing something analogous to that, where you're contemplating and you are thinking in a broader sense, but things are gradually calming down. And then it gets to the point where your mind does become calm for a little while. And then if it does become calm, it's not like, just like I answered the question before, it's not like you have to pick the thing back up again and keep contemplating. You can let it rest there. And then when it comes back, You can start contemplating again. So I'm definitely all for it. Definitely all for like using some kind of contemplation, but as long as it's going in the right direction. And look, sometimes as an aside to this, sometimes your mind's just quite active, all these kinds of things. So it is better to, if you're going to sit and like proliferate, it is better to proliferate about something useful. So even it can be like a kind of skillful thing of like, well, I'm really, really, really unsettled today. So at least I'll contemplate this particular theme, and I'll think about this theme. And even though it's maybe not so peaceful, it's at least better than just going, well, I'm just going to get totally distracted. So yeah, I'm totally all for it.
Okay. Thanks.
I think someone has posted, someone's posted in response to the question about Ajahn Jeff. He is doing a Q&A at Vimokaram tomorrow. So thank you to this person for the information.
After the meal or in the evening?
Doesn't say exactly. I think tomorrow evening. Tomorrow during the day, there's a lunch dana with a Dhamma talk or Q&A at Wat Sampan Thawong.
Geelong. That's
in Geelong, in Lara. Yeah. And actually 7:30 p.m. tomorrow, there's a Dhamma talk at Vimokaram Forest Hermitage, apparently. So
nice.
It's quite a bit of travelling as well in between.
Yeah, he's got a lot on.
Thank you, Temia, for your information. Any more questions? No questions online, Ajahn.
Okay, very good. No questions. If that's the case, we'll call it a night. Good to see everyone. Okay, all the best. Have a good night.